Hi, good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television, the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international sports and business news. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this morning's headlines. Congress approaches Election Commission against the use of nota in the upcoming Rajya Sabha polls, challenges the constitutionality of decision in Rajya Sabha. Centre releases a relief package of over 2,000 crore rupees for flood-hit northeast states. Death toll in West Bengal floods rises to 47. NIA to question Syed Ali Shah Gilani's younger son in connection with the terror funding case today. Agencies reissue summons to Gilani's elder son. Talks on technical issues over Indus Waters Treaty took place in the spirit of goodwill and cooperation, says the World Bank, cites to reconvene in September. And at least 30 people killed and over 60 others wounded in a suicide attack at a packed mosque in Hurriyat in Afghanistan. First up, news from Parliament. The government's move to raise the price of cooking gas by 4 rupees every month till next March drew flack from the opposition members in the upper house on Tuesday. Now, the opposition accused the government of churning out revenue by burdening the poor. The government, however, clarified that the decision to raise the prices every month was taken by the erstwhile UPA government.
Conducted by this government and
Stepping up pressure on the government, opposition parties demanded the rollback of the decision to raise the price of cooking gas by 4 rupees every month. Raising the issue in the upper house during 0 hour, Derek of the TMC alleged that the government was not fulfilling its social commitment to provide cooking gas at subsidized rates.
The oil prices internationally have come down from $111 to $48. So my question to this government, sir, when they make these promises, why don't they fulfill these promises?
Leader of opposition in the House, Ghulam Nabi Azad, and leaders across the political spectrum also slammed the government over the issue.
दामों पर आपको क्रूड ऑयल और गैस मिलता है और उसके बाद इतने टैक्सेस लगाते हैं गरीब की कमर
okay, now crores of people have voluntarily given up their buying of gas cylinders and the subsidy, and that has been transferred to the poor. And now you are charging 4 rupees per month every month, and that will go and you are burdening that poor.
पेट्रोलियम के पदार्थों में दुनिया में इतना कम हो गया, यहाँ बढ़ता जा रहा है। सब्सिडी आप पूरी 2 साल में खत्म कर देंगे गरीबों की।
बाहर अनाउंस किया, ये बिल्कुल ही गलत परंपरा है। इतना बड़ा बोझ जनता पे डालने के बाद बाहर डालेंगे आप, ये तेल के ऊपर सरकार चलाएंगे क्या आप?
However, Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan stressed that the move stemmed from a June 2010 decision under the previous UPA government to raise prices every month in small quantum to completely eliminate subsidies.
कांग्रेस की निर्णय उन दिनों में यूपीए सरकार की निर्णय हमारे सामने है। उसी निर्णय में उन्होंने 35 रुपया एक मुफ्त में उठाए थे, बढ़ाए थे। जब नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार बनी, देश में 14 करोड़ एलपीजी ग्राहक थे, जो आज बढ़कर 21 करोड़ हुए हैं।
But opposition members continued their tirade against the government and moved into the well of the house. The protests forced 2 brief adjournments and disrupted 0 hour.
House is adjourned up to 12:00 hours.
Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the opposition members targeted the government in the upper house on Tuesday for not inviting the chairman, the deputy chairman and the members of the Rajya Sabha for the inauguration of a new annex complex of Parliament. The Rajya Sabha Secretariat has now written to the Lok Sabha Secretariat regarding the impropriety of not inviting the chairman.
A united opposition on Tuesday criticized the government for what it called undermining the importance of Rajya Sabha. Raising the issue during 0 hour, Leader of Opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad said for all official functions in the Parliament House complex, the Rajya Sabha chairman and deputy chairman are invited along with MPs.
2009 में पार्लियामेंट की जो एनेक्सी है, जो इसका हिस्सा है, बहुत सारे ऑफिसेज हैं, हमारी मीटिंगें होती हैं, कॉन्फ्रेंसेस होती हैं वहां, उसका एक्सपेंशन का प्रोग्राम हुआ और फाउंडेशन स्टोन ऑनरेबल चेयरमैन राज्यसभा, जो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया भी हैं, और ऑनरेबल स्पीकर साहिबा लोकसभा की, उन्होंने फाउंडेशन स्टोन डाला। जाहिर है वो एक ऑफिशियल फंक्शन था पार्लियामेंट का, लेकिन कल जब उस बिल्डिंग का इनॉग्रेशन होना था तो उसमें प्रधानमंत्री जी आए, पर देश के प्रधानमंत्री हैं, कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, उद्घाटन करें, कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, लेकिन स्पीकर और डिप्टी स्पीकर उसमें हों और चेयरमैन और डिप्टी चेयरमैन न हो, तो ये सवाल चेयरमैन और डिप्टी चेयरमैन का नहीं है, ये पूरे इस राज्यसभा की गरिमा का सवाल है।
Cutting across party lines, members raised objections on the issue.
There has not been a document found till date. Till if that is not found, I'm saying I still have a week left in this house. I request you to produce the document here. If you don't have such a document, then what is happening is illegal. What is happening is illegal. You are bypassing this August House. This is the Council of States. It cannot be insulted further. The political complexion of today, that insults are coming through various ways, that's a different matter. But institutionally, that insult to this house cannot be tolerated.
पहले भी सदन में इस बात को उठाया था कि राज्यसभा की संविधान ने संरचना पहले करी, लोकसभा की बात करी। आर्टिकल 110 में जो फाइनेंस मैटर में था, स्पीकर को ज़्यादा पावर दी गई, लेकिन चेयरमैन जो कि वाइस प्रेसिडेंट होता, प्रोटोकॉल स्पीकर से ऊपर है, तो हमारे चेयरमैन को प्रोटोकॉल के हिसाब से अगर ऊंचे दिया गया है स्थान, तो इस राज्यसभा का भी स्थान ऊंचा होना चाहिए। राज्यसभा में आने का एमपी इग्नोर किया गया।
If there is a monitoring committee, it consists only the Lok Sabha MPs and the Rajya Sabha MPs are not included. The convention is, if 2 or 3 more MPs come in the same jurisdiction, the senior most MP will chair the meeting.
That is a different subject.
No, same. Rajya Sabha MPs are totally ignored.
Different subject.
Rajya Sabha MPs are totally
different subject.
It seems that whatever development takes place,
now
Rajya Sabha MPs don't have a role in that.
Leader of the House, Arun Jaitley, clarified that the Parliament House complex is managed through committees since 1952.
कंस्ट्रक्शन की एक्टिविटी है, उसका काम जो है वो लोकसभा सेक्रेटरीट देखता है। ये कोई हमारे सरकार के 3 साल में आने पे ये व्यवस्था नहीं बनी है। ये 1952 से बनी हुई है, जब आज़ाद साहब पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर मिनिस्टर भी कई बार रहे हैं, उन्होंने भी इसी व्यवस्था के तहत ही जो है वो अपनी सरकार को चलाया है।
Deputy Chairman P.J. Kurian also contended that the chairman of the Rajya Sabha should have been invited.
No, Honorable Leader of the House, the position is, from the day one, the practice is that it is being managed by Lok Sabha and there is formal committee. But what I said is, in the records, there is no document showing that this kind of a decision was taken at some point of time. That has been inquired to, even by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat. Number two is a question of yesterday's function. Yes, for yesterday's function, I think Honorable Chairman should also have been invited. That is what I also feel.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday inaugurated the Parliament House Annexi Extension Building that has committee rooms, an auditorium, a banquet hall and chambers for chairpersons of standing committees. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the opposition members objected to an election commission notification in the upper house on Tuesday that provides the MLAs the nota option for the Rajya Sabha polls. The opposition challenged the constitutionality of the election commission's decision. The government clarified that a Supreme Court judgment provides for the nota option. Separately, the Congress approached the election commission against the use of nota. Senior Congress leaders Anand Sharma and Manish Tiwari met the election commission and demanded the option be removed.
Question hour, please.
As soon as the House assembled for question hour, Anand Sharma of the Congress said that the Election Commission's decision to provide the nota option was made without amending the constitution or the law. Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad termed the matter as very serious.
the decision has been made without amending the constitution or the law that the nota option will be available to the MLAs in the election as per the directions of the ECI. How can this be done? Sir, it vitiates the election. Constitution has not been amended. But Representation of People Act has not been amended. Nota has been introduced. Supreme Court cannot, unless and until the Constitution is amended, this is the Council of States.
ये बड़ा बहुत ही सीरियस है, ये पूरे देश के लिए भी नहीं है, ये सिर्फ गुजरात के लिए ही है। आप गुजरात का, हिंदुस्तान का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अलग हो और देश का अलग बन गया।
Satish Chandra of the BSP and Ram Gopal Yadav of the Samajwadi Party questioned the legality of the Election Commission's decision.
This has to be, and it's about this house. So therefore, it has to be considered. Election Commission, if issues an executive order under 324, which is unconstitutional against 10th schedule, it cannot go beyond 10th schedule.
क्या ये गवर्नमेंट का कोई देखिए, all candidates are the same. Procedure is the same.
चुनाव अवैध हो जाए।
Leader of the Rajya Sabha stressed that Election Commission's decision was pursuant to the Supreme Court judgment.
Is that there was a judgment of the Supreme Court which provided for a nota option. The judgment came several years before this government came to power. The Election Commission, pursuant to that judgment, has issued some notification under Article 324. Article 324 covers all elections in this country.
Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari also assured members that the issue will be examined and urged them to allow the House to function.
If it relates to any default or any aspect which involves the Rajya Sabha, then we will look into it, that's all.
It involves directly. How is nota option?
Okay, a point has been raised, it will be examined, that's all.
The chair's assurance failed to quell the opposition's dissent, though, as the opposition members continued to protest. The chair first adjourned the House for 10 minutes and then till 2 p.m.
House is adjourned for 10 minutes.
Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news now. Security forces killed 2 terrorists, including Lashkartoibas top commander Abul Dujana, in an encounter in Jammu and Kashmir on Tuesday. A civilian was killed in the clashes that broke out in many parts of the valley after the encounter.
In a major victory for the security forces in the Kashmir Valley, security forces killed a top Lashkartoibas terrorist Abu Dujana in the Pulwama district. Another LET terrorist was also shot dead along with Dujana in an exchange of fire in Hakripura village. The terrorists were believed to be trapped inside a house when the gun battle started.
2 terrorists have been killed. This includes Abu Dujana, the Lashkartoibas chief for Kashmir, a category A++ terrorist, Arif Nabidar, and Arif Dar also is a wanted terrorist. He had been involved in a number of bank robberies, in a number of weapon snatching incidents, and so today both of them have been killed. Abu Dujana is a foreign terrorist, Pakistani.
आतंकवाद वहाँ का समाप्त करना है तो आतंकियों को समाप्त करना पड़ेगा। पाकिस्तान से आतंकी ना आए, अगर यहाँ आते हैं तो उन्हें गोली मिलेगी। यही कार्रवाई सरकार कर रही है, पुलिस कर रही है, फोर्सेस कर रही है, सेना कर रही है। हमें किसी भी हालत में कश्मीर में शांति देनी है।
Dujana was listed among the most wanted terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir. He was wanted in over 3 dozen attacks on security forces and civilians. Shortly after the encounter, clashes erupted in many parts of the valley. 1 person was killed and several injured as security forces opened fire on stone-pelting protesters near the encounter site in Pulwama.
The people on the behest of these militants, maybe coercion or threatening, they tend to come in between the operating parties and the militants, and that's how they get injured or killed. Today also it happened in the same manner, and we lost a civilian's life. Regrettable, but it could have been avoided if...
All schools, colleges and universities were closed across Kashmir in the wake of the protests. The authorities also suspended mobile internet services across the valley as a precautionary measure. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
More news from Jammu and Kashmir. The National Investigation Agency will question Kashmiri separatist leader Syed Ali Gilani's younger son Naseem Gilani today. Now, this is in connection with its probe into the terror funding in Jammu and Kashmir. The anti-terror agency issued summons to Naseem, a state government employee, on Monday for appearance at its Delhi headquarters for questioning. NIA reissued a summons to Naseem's elder brother Naeem as well, who is a doctor once based in Pakistan, after he failed to appear in response to a 27th of July notice since he is in a hospital. Both Naseem and Naeem are on the NIA Nadar in a connection with the agency's case registered against Kashmiri separatist leaders, including Hurriyat members, for allegedly conniving with Hizbul Mujahideen, Lashkartoibas, Dr. Millat and others to allegedly raise and receive funds to create unrest in the valley. Another situation in Darjeeling, and the Gorkhaland Movement Coordination Committee has decided to continue the agitation to press for a separate Gorkhaland state. On Tuesday, the committee discussed the way forward for the separate statehood movement. It also decided to hold a one-day hunger strike in Delhi. The committee further decided to meet various parliamentarians, prominent political leaders as well as other personalities to press for a separate state of Gorkhaland. The shutdown in Darjeeling, meanwhile, enters its 49th day today. Except medicine shops, all the business establishments, schools and colleges remain closed in the hills. Now, police and security forces patrol the streets in the hills to keep a vigil on the entry and exit routes. Meanwhile, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee once again said that she will never support the division of the state. She also urged all the political parties to restore peace in the hills. In Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Thanks for staying with us, and here is an update on the flood situation across various states. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Assam on Tuesday to review the flood situation in the state and announced a combined relief package of over 2,000 crore rupees for all the northeastern states. Now, he has also announced 100 crore rupees corpus to study and find a permanent solution to the flood problem in the region. At least 130 lives have been lost and more than 25 lakh people have been affected by floods in Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur and Nagaland. Here are all the details.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a total package of 2,350 crore rupees for all northeastern states for flood relief and rehabilitation on short and long-term basis. In an attempt to find a permanent solution to the flood problem in Assam, the Prime Minister also announced an additional 100 crore rupees corpus to set up a research project to study the role of River Brahmaputra in creating the devastating flood every year. With nearly 32 lakh hectares or over 40% of the state's land being flood-prone, the Brahmaputra Valley is considered to be one of the most hazard-prone regions of the country. On Monday, the Prime Minister had also announced 2 lakh rupees each to the families of those who lost their lives due to floods in the state.
A high-power group with scientists, technologists, engineers, bureaucrats will be constituted, and that group will be initially a corpus of rupees 100 crore will be given to that group so that they can study the course of the Brahmaputra river and suggest remedial measure so that flood problem can ultimately permanently solve.
The announcement came on Tuesday during the Prime Minister's day-long visit to Guwahati to review flood situation in the state. The Prime Minister also met Chief Ministers of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur and Nagaland, which have also been hit by heavy rains and floods.
We have explained about the damage caused by flood and then the unusual rain had affected so many households and we have lost about 19 lives. And 5 people are still missing.
77 people have died due to floods in Assam this year and lakhs are affected in 29 out of the state's 32 districts. The state government has estimated a loss of 2,939 crore rupees due to the devastating floods. Over 90 animals, including 7 rhinoceros, have also died in the Kaziranga National Park in Assam. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the flood toll in West Bengal rose to 47 on Tuesday with the death of 7 more persons in the last 24 hours, even as the situation improved as the water level of rivers receded. Around 27 lakh people of 14 districts of West Bengal have been hit by the flood. Around 311 relief camps have been opened from them. Now, Dhanyakali of Hooghly district and Ghatal in Midnapur districts are the worst affected areas. Meanwhile, around 59,000 hectares of paddy seedbed has been damaged out of more than 3 lakh hectares of cultivated land. According to an official at the Agriculture Department, out of the 10 lakh hectares of paddy seedbeds, more than 1 lakh hectares were damaged. Meanwhile, the situation is improving in heavy rainfall affected areas of Rajasthan as water has started receding. Now, the State Disaster Management and Relief Secretary Hemant Gera said that no death has been reported and no rescue operation was carried out. Now, as per reports, 53 people have died due to natural calamities. The state government has sanctioned 1.24 crore rupees as a compensation to the family members who lost their lives due to flood. Meanwhile, in the last 24 hours, heavy rainfall occurred at isolated places in Jaipur and Bikaner divisions as well. On to some other news. The 6-member Monetary Policy Committee headed by RBI Governor Hurriyat Patel on Tuesday started 2-day deliberations in Mumbai. The meet comes amid expectations of at least a 0.25% cut in the key lending rate as inflation has cooled to record low levels. Now, the meet is preparatory to announce its third bi-monthly policy review of 2017-18. The resolution of the Monetary Policy Committee, which will be announced today, is being keenly awaited by all the stakeholders, including industry and stock markets. Now, encouraged by significant price improvement, bankers expect the Reserve Bank of India to change its monetary stance. At its second bi-monthly monetary policy review of the fiscal on 7th of June, the RBI had maintained status quo on its short-term rate for lending to commercial banks at 6.25%. And the World Bank has asserted that India and Pakistan have agreed to reconvene in September over the Indus Waters Treaty. Now, the bank added that the secretary-level discussions between India and Pakistan held in Washington this week took place in a spirit of goodwill and cooperation. It further added that both the parties have agreed to continue the discussions and they are going to reconvene in September in Washington, D.C. Remember, the two nations last had held talks over the treaty in March this year during the meeting of the Permanent Indus Water Commission in Pakistan. Pakistan had earlier approached the World Bank last year, raising concerns over the designs of 2 hydroelectricity projects located in Jammu and Kashmir. On the other hand, India has asked for the appointment of a neutral expert to look into the issues, contending that the concerns raised by Pakistan were nothing but technical issues. Let's get you some international news. A suicide attack at a parked mosque in Afghanistan province of Hurriyat killed at least 30 people and wounded more than 60 on Tuesday. The attack, which took place in the Javadia Mosque, coincided with the evening prayers when the mosque was packed with about 300 worshippers. The officials said that there were at least 2 attackers one a suicide bomber and another who shot at worshippers with a firearm. The death toll in the attack is likely to go up. No group, however, has claimed responsibility for the attack so far. Terror group Taliban denied any involvement and condemned the attack as well. The explosion at the mosque comes a day after an attack on the Iraqi embassy in Kabul, which was claimed by the terrorist group Islamic State. More than 1,700 civilians have been killed in attacks in Afghanistan so far this year.
اضافه‌تر از 20 شهید داریم و اضافه‌تر از 30 زخمی که از جمله از زخمیات 10 واقعی از اینا حالت وخیم دارند.
Let's get you news from Venezuela, where the crisis has deepened further after the rearrest of two of the country's most prominent opposition leaders in midnight operations. The security officials led the raids after a court ruled that Leopoldo Lopez and Antonio Ledesma had violated the terms of their house arrests. The court also said that it had revoked the leaders' house arrest because they had made political statements. The two leaders were taken to a military prison on Tuesday night. The arrest has prompted further condemnation of President Nicolas Maduro's government, which was already accused of attempting to seize absolute power in the crisis-hit country. The weekend vote for a new constituent assembly was boycotted by the opposition and has been denounced around the world as an attack on democracy. The United States says it will evaluate all its policy options, including putting pressure on President Maduro to step down.
¿Quién fue el de la brillante idea, señores del gobierno, de haber ido en la madrugada, sacar por la fuerza tanto a nuestro alcalde metropolitano Antonio Ledesma?
Clearly what we want to see is for Venezuela to return to its constitution, return to its scheduled elections, and allow the people of Venezuela to have the voice in their government that they deserve. We're very, very troubled by what we're seeing unfold following the Constituent Assembly vote, which went about as we expected. But the rearrest of opposition leaders last night is very alarming. This could lead to an outbreak of further violence in the country.
The detention of these two very prominent opposition figures had already been declared arbitrary by the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, which is the authority on these matters. So we're asking the government to respect this decision and to promptly release these two men.
Well, that's it from me and my team in this edition of News. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day ahead.